Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Arain with Arain Media. Today, I'm going to show you how to create a blasting off rocket. Now, you need a plugin called Turbulence FD for Cinema 4D. I'm going to go ahead and press play. So to show you what we're going to be creating, let's go ahead. As you can see, the fire is actually emitting from the bottom of the actual rocket itself. I'm going to go ahead and hide the stage. And I'm going to go ahead and take out the camera, and we're going to actually zoom in to this. So as you can see here, we have the fire actually emitting from the bottom part. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Now you can see the fire right there emitting, and we're using the Turbulence FD. Let's go ahead to quick shaded. Actually, let's take off the textures so you can see exactly what's going on. So first we're going to start by creating the actual geometry itself, the model. Then we're going to go ahead and add the fire to the scene. Now this actually, you could actually use this in a lot of different ways. And what I'm having now, what I actually have going on, I have the actual spline animated, the spline up and down motion, and it's attached to the actual geometry. So it's going up. So let's go ahead and create it from scratch. Go ahead and turn everything back on. So let's go to File, and we go to New. Right now, we're going to actually search for an image to model. So I always go to freepix.com. They have the best, to me, one of the best free, royalty-free site. You could get reference images, and you could use them. Just have to give the author its credit. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to my front view. I'm going to bring in a reference image. Let's go to the back section tab, and we're going to click, and we're going to actually I'm going to my download section. I'm going to bring this image in. So I'm going to press OK. I'll bring it in. It should come in soon. So you could choose any one of these that you want to model. Again, I got this from freepix.com. And due to the fact we use the blue one right here on the lower right hand corner, we're going to use the same thing. You could do any one you want. This technique could work for any one of these that you want. But for the time being, to save time, we're going to actually do the simpler one. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to actually center the blue one in the center, and I'm going to lower the transparency a little bit first, and I'm going to center it. So let's go ahead and center it, and I'm actually going to bring it up in the y-axis, and we'll place it right there. So let's go ahead, and we're going to actually use the pen tool to make the outline of the first part, which is this part of the shell. Then we're going to focus on the wings, or yeah, we're going to focus on the wings of the rocket. So let's go ahead and click the pen tool, and we're going to make the outline. I'm going to actually zoom in. Sorry. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Make sure I have everything. So I'm going to just click around where I think I need it to go. And we want to actually bring this inside, like right there. Now, the next step is to actually use the rectangular selection tool. And we're going to make these soft points. So right click and choose soft interpolation. I'm going to go ahead and adjust these points. Now you guys could take the time to adjust your points where you want it to. Depends on what you're actually choosing to model. I'm going to use a transform tool and probably even that out a little bit, and probably move this to the side. Probably bring it down. And I'm going to take the top point. I'm going to adjust that. I might soften that as well. Probably rotate it so I can have that curve at the top part. I'm going to actually go ahead, and I'm going to actually, I think I need a point right here. But let's see what we could do with this. Maybe if I actually scale it up, I'll be able to have a little rounder point and actually bring it down just a little bit. Now, if you want this to be perfect, you take your time and you adjust each point how you want it to be adjusted. This is okay to me. I might just expand this point right here as well. I might bring it down to like right about there. That looks good to me. So now let's go ahead and go to a perspective view. Let's take a look at the actual points that we created. And we did it actually in the centers. So what we're going to have to do now, we're going to create a shape of this. So we need to add the lath. And we're going to actually drag this into the lath. And right now we need to turn on our Garud shading so we can see what's going on. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on underneath. We want to make sure we have the right amount of segments. I'm actually go to the spline itself, and I might change the intermediate points to uniform, and that give us like a little bit more geometry. So I like that right there. I'm satisfied with that. And I noticed that right here is a little bit off a little bit, so I'm going to hide the lath, and I'm actually going to, let's go ahead and see what we have. I'm going to go ahead and probably expand that just a little bit. I want to make sure it doesn't look too, okay. Probably right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our reference image. You can always go back and change this. So right there, I think it's right here. Go ahead and add a little bit more bend here. And I might bring it down just a little bit. Probably soft it once more. And make it a little bit more soothing to the eyes, I guess. Let's go ahead and turn back on our lath nerve. And we have this. This looks way better to me. Sort of minor adjustment, but I could actually work with that. We're going to add texture to it, so it's not going to make a big deal. I'm going ahead and save this as tutorials, as Rocket tutorial V1. Should say lesson 1, right? Lesson 1. So let's go ahead and save it. I'm saving it to my desktop. So right now we have this shape. We're going to actually want to edit this shape. So we're going to right click and we're going to choose select children, and we're going to make it, we're going to go to current state to object to make a copy of that object. We'll be making it an editable object. I do have an accent, by the way, so it'll come out now and then. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and manipulate this object. I'm going to go to my actual view right here, which is my front view. And I'm going to go ahead and add some edges to this. I'm going to go ahead and select the edge tool, and I'm going to press UL for loop selection. I'm going to click this right here, and I'm going to actually bevel this edge. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose bevel. Probably like around right there. I don't want it too much. I'm going to choose loop cut, and I'm going to cut in the center, which has to be at least offset by 50%, which is in the center of that cut. And now I'm actually going to press UL again, and I'm going to select the middle cut that we made, and I'm going to actually bring it in. Oops. Then what we have to do now, a good thing to do, I might bevel that also. It's beveled, and I'm going to select my points. And I'm going to drag these points, select these points right here. And I'm going to use the scale tool, and I'm going to scale it down just a little bit. About there. So let's go to a perspective view to see what we did. Now let's select that. So I'm going to turn my lines off real quick. So now we create a little seam for the top of the rocket. Right? So now let's go ahead and do the rest. We're going to take a look at our reference image, and we're going to do the same thing for everything else. We're going to focus on the actual arm here and there.